Oh, hey, Beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today, I am back with a fragrance review for a fragrance that is newer to the US, but this thing is something that I think a lot of you out there will be looking to get your nose on. This fragrance comes from the house of Etat Libre d'Orange, and this one is called Exit the King. All right, get out, you king. So I know what some of you are thinking. When we talk about Exit the King, you may be thinking about shots at Aventus, and no, they are not calling Aventus the king. Pretty much this fragrance is supposed to be a freeing fragrance, one to help you set yourself free from all of the things out there that oppress you or those around you. So Exit the King, I think, is named aptly with what they are trying to do. Now, along with that, to me, you get a fragrance that is clean, all right? This one is this white floral fragrance, but it also has this very clean type of vibe to it, kind of soapy, kind of, actually, I think one of the notes in this is supposed to be like soapy foam. We'll get to that, but it's definitely clean, to say the least. Now, the presentation for Exit the King is pretty much in line with what you would see from a lot of Etat Libre d'Orange fragrances, where you'll see where you get a clear bottle here, or at least on this one there's a clear bottle, and then you get the label on the edge here. For those of you looking for the distribution, that's what you get. It's like a blast. It's like someone shooting at you. Look how thing, boom, boom. All right, hopefully the camera's picking that up in real time. Now, as I said, this fragrance is supposed to be one that is in the mindset of a fragrance that is being free. And with that mindset, I think that having this fresh, clean, soapy type of vibe is in line with that, all right? So it's like you're wiping yourself free of anything that would be oppressing, whether it's systemic racism, labels, a lot of stuff that's going on in society right now can be oppressing, okay? And this is supposed to put you in a mindset to be free, be clear-headed, and be ready to go. Now, I think that this thing is a good fragrance, and I think it would have probably been better for me to be able to talk about this one in September, because I think that with that being said, here in the US, September is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Right now here in the US, with a lot of the social distancing guidelines still in place with some people and some organizations, you may not be able to see people that you love as much, right? Now, I know that you can do Zoom, you can do Blue Jeans, and a ton of other conferencing systems out there, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same as that face-to-face interaction, and you might need something to help you be uplifted during this month. And I think that this fragrance, with the mindset that it has, is definitely one that a lot of people would want to check out, at the very least, to support the cause. Now, some of your notes for this fragrance are going to be pink pepper, you have moss, you have lily of the valley, you have sandalwood, you have rose in this fragrance as well, and it's also said to have this soap foam. Now, I'm not sure kind of what accord is brought together to really bring that to you, but I think that this one does have that type of vibe to it. Now, obviously, I'm not cutting my beard much, but I think if you were to do like this, maybe a shaving cream or something like that, or go to a barbershop, this one would definitely have that same type of barbershop feel. I can definitely smell that in it, but I don't believe that this one is a barbershop scent. Personally, we'll talk more about that. Now, the company describes this fragrance as an overdose in petals, and in petals that they're talking about, to me, it's probably these floral petals, whether it's the rose or the lily of the valley. You definitely get some floral nuances in this scent, and it's there for sure, but you also get that cleanliness in this fragrance as well, and they begin to talk about that in discussion with this scent. The company also goes on to discuss this milkiness brought by way of patchouli, sandalwood in this fragrance. To me, right off the break, you get something that's fresh. And I've said that over and over again, but this one is undeniably fresh. And it has this, I guess, a soap foam type of feel to it, if you would call it that. But to me, in my nose, I'm getting a lot of those florals within this scent, which could be good or could be bad depending on your preference in fragrances. Now, if you're not a fan of floral scents, you may not like this fragrance, although at the same time, you still may. This one isn't a heavy floral fragrance where I feel that this one comes off super feminine, because I don't. I feel that this one is a good blend of that freshness that you get in some of the notes that they talked about, some of the earthiness as well, and then also those two blended together come together to me as a fragrance that is a great unisex vibe. I think depending on the wearer of this fragrance, it would take its own life depending on how they decide to wear it, and it's one that I personally feel would be good for the entire household, more so for those maybe teenage girls, men that are, you know, confident in themselves and okay wearing floral scents, and then also maybe the mom of the household. To me, this one would transcend across all age groups really well. Maybe not if you're in high school, unless you have a more sophisticated type of feel to you, then this one could work for you. But to me, this one is a fragrance that is more targeted for those of you out there who are not in the beginner stages of fragrances. Obviously, this one is a niche scent, and sometimes you get that with that. This one is super wearable though. I don't find that this one to be a challenging scent at all. I think if you're new to fragrances, you could enjoy this scent if you like the scent profile, or if you've been around the fragrances for a while, you would appreciate some of the complexities within the scent as it transitions from that freshness into that soapy vibe into the woods. Now, one of the things that they say in the write-up for this fragrance is nothing can rule us. And within this scent, when I think about the notes and how they're utilized, they're really balanced really well. And I don't think that there's one note or one accord within this fragrance that takes over the entire scent. Now, I did mention that the freshness in this fragrance is plenty of times, but that could come from a number of notes within this scent that allows it to stay alive and well as this thing transitions, which is another reason why this fragrance would work in a unisex way, because the rose isn't super dominant, right? The lily of the valley isn't super dominant, but also as you get to some of those woody notes in this scent, or that soap foam, those don't dominate the scent either. I believe that this whole thing transitions well and transcends into a scent that comes off to be really enjoyable. In terms of wearing this fragrance, I would say that this one is best suited for me in the spring and summer. I feel that the freshness in this fragrance is best primed for that point, but I think that this is a fragrance that obviously we're in climate controlled environments, one that you could wear all year round and not offend anyone. I know sometimes you get those darker fragrances, or you get fragrances with rose, as this one has, that have that super natural type of scent that can be pungent. You don't get that with this one here. Everything comes off subtle. To me, this one sits closer to the skin and doesn't come off as something that is going to be off-putting to anyone personally. Now, because of that soap foam in this fragrance, or some of those notes there, it comes off as this classic scent that transitions well and has this modern approach all at the same time. I recently mentioned this fragrance on a list of fragrances for 2020 that released that are actually good, and this is definitely one of those fragrances. Make sure you try this one out. You can holler at my people over at Twisted Lily, and they have you covered. All right, I have a code listed for them where you save 10% off your entire order, whether you're going for this or any of the other fragrances from this company or any of the other fragrances on their site. They're going to hook you up with 10% off, which I think is a stellar deal. All right, man, so Exit the King. I think with this one being an election year, election is not far down the line. Depending on how you feel, it really doesn't matter how you feel, Democrat, Republican, and anything in between. I think that this fragrance kind of represents today's time. There's a lot of things going on in the world today where people feel oppressed. They feel like they need a clean start. And if you just look at the pandemic in itself, that alone just needs to be washed away. So exit the king or exit the pandemic. Anything this fragrance really pretty much applies to. So let me know your thoughts and opinions if you have been an early adopter on this fragrance and were able to get this one in early. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this one. It's ready to go. It's officially here in the US. I know this one was released overseas for a bit, but this one is a 2020 release nonetheless. So get your nose on this thing. Check out my people over at Twisted Lily, and they'll hook you up. I have everything linked and listed down below. Listen, I guess I have to give you the official rating and stuff on this one. I don't think I've talked about that stuff. How silly of me. All right, so if I'm going to give this thing in terms of the performance on this, I know I talked a lot about how this thing smells, but in terms of the performance for this scent, it's really not bad. Especially, it's a little bit better than what you would think of a fragrance that I find to be fresh. Those floral notes in this thing sometimes can be fleeting, but in this fragrance, it does stick around. For me personally, on the times that I've worn this scent, and it could be my skin, I've gotten between 6 and 8 hours in terms of longevity. This one projects for about an hour or so, and then it settles down to something that it sits a bit closer to the skin, but nothing about this scent to me is aggressive or loud. This one all in all sits close to the skin. Again, it has that clean feel to it, so I think that's what it was made to do nonetheless. Also, if you're looking for sillage in the scent, the sillage is okay. It's not super long scent trail on this thing, but it's enough where you will get recognized if you are in the right environment with this scent. In terms of the official rating for the scent, I would give this one a 7.5. I know there are a lot of fragrances within their lineup, and I think because of what the thought process is with this fragrance, they traditionally do not care about being safe in their fragrances. All right, they take their own twist on things and they make it what they want it to be. And even the note breakdown on this one may seem like it could not be safe based upon what the notes are, but it comes together as something that really works and is enjoyable. Everything's listed down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this fragrance if you checked it out. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Before you exit, be a king and hit the goddamn bell.